Think about what we sell as an organization. We sell a promise. That's what we sell. We promise you that we will be there in your time of need. And for a promise to work, there has to be trust.
Customer expectations are changing exponentially. Our customers expect us to be what they want, where they want, when they want us, and they expect us to know them at every point in our journey with them.
They want the experience to be easy, seamless, and personalized to them.
Less than 10% of our clients use our full suite of products and services, so our ability to get to clients faster is going to drive our growth.
We are commercial creatures. We are intending to be profitable, but we also want to fundamentally change the way the industry works.
You are dedicated to innovate, you are dedicated to think about the future. If you don't do that, I don't think you are successful within the company.
Innovation is table stakes in the new world of financial services. No longer can we expect to be second or third to market and expect to gain market share, or more importantly, to gain our customers' loyalty.
So begin with the notion of we have a connected world, cognitive capabilities, machine learning, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, the Internet of Things, sensors, biometrics. All of these have the potential to actually transform the customer experience like never before.
What we hope technology does is remove so much of the daily burden that allows us to be freer, more empathetic human beings, allow us to have more time to connect with people on a real level, to talk about what really matters to people.
Our relationship managers need to take full advantage of technology, and that's where we think Salesforce can add the greatest value to us.
If you're going to change the world, you have to do it with a group of people who share a similar lens on the world.
Salesforce brings the learnings from the various industries and enables us to think differently about our business processes as well as our technology solutions.
Salesforce pushes our thinking in so many ways. We make each other better than we would be if we didn't have a relationship.
My expectation is that Salesforce will help us ensure we're developing innovative solutions that not only keep us current, but also help us create the capabilities that we know we will need in the future.
All right, good afternoon, New York. Come on. Get that New York energy going. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Rohit Mana, and I lead our financial services industry team today. And officially, I want to welcome you to our financial services keynote. Now, you kind of heard it in that video of what the heart and soul of this session is about. It's really about your customers, customers of financial services, and their changing expectations of you as a provider, and how you can use technology to get ahead of that, to meet their needs. Now, for me personally, this session's great because it was about a 10-minute walk for me. It's a beautiful morning. I get to walk here. Nothing beats being at home. But we've got some really great things that we're going to share with you today. First, we're going to walk you through some trends and our point of view of what we're seeing happening in the industry. We're going to drive it home with two incredible guest speakers that we have. And then the cherry on top of that is a great demo that we're going to walk you through. Now, you've seen this slide probably a handful of times today, but just to share it with you one more time, we're a public traded company, and please make all your buying decisions based off product that's currently available today. Now, I've been at Salesforce. This will be my 6th year. As a company, we've been around for 18 years. And what we've been doing over those years is really blazing a path forward. And it's really in conjunction with all of you, all of our customers, our partners, anyone that's part of the Salesforce ecosystem. And what we've done together is something that's incredibly special. And that is we've created a new economy, a Salesforce economy. Recently, the IDC said by 2020, this new Salesforce economy is going to have nearly a $400 billion impact on GDP. And along the way, we're creating incredible jobs. In that same time frame, we're going to create nearly 2 million jobs as well. Now, there's no better way to really say thank you than to say thank you. So I want to thank, honestly, everyone that's in this room. If you're a customer, if you're a partner, if you're an ISV, if you're an admin, if you're just part of Salesforce, just a big, warm thank you to all of you. Now, as part of our history, we've been incredibly fortunate enough to work with financial services firms of all different sizes from all around the world. You're seeing many of the logos of those firms on the screen here. What I find really impactful is it's really the breadth and depth of our industry. It's in the wealth management space, the banking space, it's small firms, it's global firms, it's firms from all around the world. What I want to do is ask a question. And now, since we're in New York, I don't want anyone to be shy. If you're a Salesforce customer, your logo's on here, or maybe your logo's not on here, just raise your hand up high. Keep them up high for me. Cool, keep them up high for a second. If your hand's not up in the air, don't worry about it. What I want you to do is, after the session, remember the person sitting next to you, in front of you, or behind you, and just talk to them after the session. You know, build your network, understand what they are doing with Salesforce, how they're leveraging technology overall. And something that I've heard from many of you is what you're seeing on the slide here. And that is, we're in a new era in our industry. And this era is powered by your customers, by maybe many of you as customers of financial services. You're looking for a different experience. Your expectation has been heightened. And what this is all about is it's about how do us as an industry, how do we change the operating model and put our customer at the center of everything that we do? What we also have the opportunity at Salesforce is not only speaking with all of you people in industry, but it's many of your peers that are outside of industry. And we're basically seeing 5 key transformational trends that I want to share with you. First is this notion of intelligence. You heard a lot of this during the keynote. The second is speed, right? Speed is the new currency, at least in our industry. Everything needs to happen fast. Productivity, mobility, and IoT and connectivity. These are 5 themes you're going to see woven throughout the session, and we're going to show you during the demo. But I just want to plant that seed with you. And if we go back to our industry, what's happening in financial services? You know what's happening? There's a loyalty crisis right now. And we're seeing this, again, all around the world of firms of all different sizes. And with this loyalty crisis, 2 things are happening. First, your customers are cheating on you. That's right. I'm serious. They're cheating on you. And what I mean by that is, in financial services, there's this hidden defector syndrome happening. And that means maybe in insurance, you've got a customer that's got a home policy with you. But you know what? They go to your competitor for a life policy or for maybe some supplemental insurance. And banking, it's no different. In banking, yes, you've got cheaters as well. In banking, maybe they've got a checking account with you, but then they go to a competitor for a mortgage or a line of credit. The second thing that's happening recently is there's a ton of more options for all of your customers. They can go to a traditional competitor, a new entrant, maybe someone that's not in industry, like a telco who's providing financial services. So there's more options for our customers than ever before. The second thing that we hear all the time, I heard was with a customer this morning, we talked about this, and I was in Australia a few weeks ago. It's all about regulations. Regulations are never going to change in our industry. They're here to stay. In the US, they're coming from every direction, right? It's with the OCC really changing of what's happening around selling practices. It's not about the product, it's about what the customer need is. Whatever's happening with the political landscape, everything that's happening around the fiduciary rule and the best interest of our client. But it's also global. It's in Europe, you know, with RDR and with MiFID II. It's in APAC with FOFA and all the other regulations that are going on there. So what's the consistent thing with regulations? It's that they create uncertainty. And what do we know in our industry? You do not want uncertainty with your customers, right? You never want your customers to feel uncertain of what's going to happen. And what's happening is, because of that uncertainty, there's a whole new competitive landscape that's happening. Everyone's got a different term for what's happening. Some people call it a disruptor. Some people call it a fintech provider. The way I think of it is, there's new companies that are out there that are looking at friction points that all of our customers are having in their financial services experience. And they're creating new business models around those. Whether it's from a wealth management side, around a robo-advisor, in banking or lending, around peer-to-peer lending. It's even happening in insurance. So anyone in here that raised their hand that's part of an insurance firm, you're part of this as well. It's all about this insurtech revolution that's happening. And what the effect this is happening is this idea of unbundling. You know, that traditional financial services are unbundling, and these different disruptors are going after them through different lenses. So what's this impact? It's all about the data. So check these data points out. In the last 6 years, the investment in fintech or in this disruption landscape has exponentially grown. 6 years ago, $1.8 billion was invested. If I asked you guys and I ran a poll, you probably can't even imagine the number it's gone to. At the end of last year, so at the end of 2016, that number went up to nearly $21 billion. Check out this slide. Where did all this investment traditionally happen? It happened on our coasts, on the East Coast and on the West Coast, Silicon Valley and Silicon Alley. This number kind of speaks for itself. It's probably something we all expected, right? You know, over 50% was being driven out of the US. Something changed at the end of last year. And what changed is the rest of the world caught on to this. The rest of the world caught on to this idea of let's change the customer experience, change the way, we provide services to customers and financial services. And now China is actually leading the pack with investment in this space, where over 45% of investment into fintech is coming out of China. So if you look into this space, you read about it, you jump on YouTube, you watch videos, you know what you're going to hear about? You're going to hear that China has truly understood this idea of blurring together different industries. Let's talk about Ant Financial. Ant Financial was previously known as Alipay. They were born out of Alibaba, the largest e-commerce company in China and one of the largest e-commerce companies in the world. These guys are incredible. They said, we wanted to create an easier experience for our customers. Kind of makes sense, right? You're shopping online, you're buying something, it should just be one click. You should be able to make a payment and you should be done. They couldn't find anyone that provided that service. So what did they do? They just said, we're just going to build it ourselves. So you fast forward to current state, they now process nearly $1 trillion a year on the Ant Financial platform. You want to put that in comparison? We all think about PayPal, right? That is the name in this space. PayPal processes only a third of that. So just think about that for a second, right? An e-commerce company is now one of the largest financial services providers in the world. Check out anything that their CEO is saying. It's unbelievable. What he's saying is that he's not stopping there. He's got a much bigger vision for the industry. And in the next 10 years, he wants to bank 2 billion people around the world. It's really, really incredible stuff. But it's not just Ant Financial. It's so many other providers in China that are doing fascinating things. Let's talk about WeChat, right? I bet you, if you're not watching me, you might be on your phone, chatting a friend on iMessenger, talking to someone around the world. I can't see anyone on the phone, so hopefully I'm saying good things here. You're dialed into me. So WeChat, check these guys out. They've got over 800 million people on their platform. And what did they do? They said, we see friction out there as well. And people live on their phone. They live in chat. Why can't we allow banks to provide banking services right in there? So just as easily as I can chat with a friend, I can chat with a family member, why can't I switch over and interact with my bank? So these are just a few examples of what's going on in China. Again, I encourage all of you to check this out. So you might be saying, Rohit, that's a lot of headwinds. What can I do? What can I leave from this session today, take back to the office, work with my teams? It all starts with this one question you're seeing on the screen here. And that is, how can intelligence help us personalize our experiences at scale? At scale is important because all of our customers want that really, really high-touch experience that maybe we traditionally only give to our most important customers or clients. We need to think about that across all of our customers, of our bank, of our insurance carrier. So where does this start? Where do we see great patterns? Again, it's all about patterns. And what we've been seeing is that the smartest companies are not just focused on the product and service anymore. That's table stakes. We get that in this industry. They're all about truly understanding their customer and changing their business model to, again, put that customer at the center of everything that they do. And what these guys are realizing is convenience is truly the new loyalty in financial services. And again, it's all about making sure you're personalizing every interaction that you have with any of your customers. But it's not just about changing things externally. It's also about things internally. So who are your most important assets in your company? It's your employees, right? It's your relationship managers. It's your bankers. It's your insurance agents. So how do we make their lives a lot easier? How do we allow them to go out to where their customers are, right? Their customers aren't coming to them into the branch. Their customers are out. So how do we make it much easier through technology to empower all of our relationship managers, bankers, insurance agents, to take all this great technology, to go sit out with the customer, to have a side-by-side conversation, and have the data just start coming directly to them. So this is something we think a lot about at Salesforce. I personally spend a lot of time thinking about this in our industry. So the great news is we can help you get there faster. And the way we do that is with our platform at Salesforce. This is our intelligent customer success platform that, again, puts the customer, the client, truly at the center, the DNA of everything that you do. And if you're at the Keynote, you heard a lot about this. What we've also been very passionate about is how do we make that platform more intelligent? The way we do this is through our capabilities around Einstein. Einstein's really the best of what's going on in artificial intelligence, natural language processing, big data, all these great trends that we're seeing in this space. All of this is now infused directly into our customer success platform to make it more intelligent for all of you. So what does this mean to us, right? So what can we see in financial services? What you're going to see Einstein doing is really focusing in 4 key areas to help us as an industry. First, around discovery. I'm sure if you went out and spoke to some of your best bankers or relationship managers, they've got their relationships in their brain, right? A lot of them call it their mental Velcro, their mental vault. They just think they know all their relationships. The reality is you don't, right? You have so many clients. There's so many centers of influence that have secondary, tertiary connections. So what we're seeing with Einstein is it's going to help you start discovering these relationships, maybe ones you didn't even know existed across your books. The second is prediction. I love this through the lens of a marketing use case. So imagine if your marketing team had a crystal ball and they knew when it was the right time to reach out to a customer because based on a propensity model, they knew that's when that person actually needed some help, maybe to make a decision. So it's about marketing at the right time and at the right channel. Recommendations, all right? This is a great thing that if maybe you're in a call center, you're a banker, you're in a branch, you want a tool that's helping you understand what it is that you should be saying, what should you be discussing, what should be your talk track. It's also about automation, right? So how can we just automate all the mundane tasks that we've been doing over the years? So again, you can spend more time with what you love to do, and that's with your customer, with your prospect, building out relationships. So what have we been talking about so far? We've been talking about customers across financial services. We've been talking about your internal employees or relationship managers. But what about the investor? Right? This is an important topic. What is the investor looking for from financial services, from maybe a financial advisor? Now, we're incredibly fortunate. I talked about we've got 2 great speakers. One of our speakers is going to bring this point home. So she has been in Wall Street her entire career. She's an incredible veteran of the space. She's also a great entrepreneur. She's also an author. So help me, big round of applause to invite up Sally Krawcheck to the stage. Hey, Sally.
Are you saying I'm old?
I'm definitely not saying you're old.
Good.
So first, congratulations on this great book you've put out there.
Thank you.
I've actually read it. It sits on our counter at home, and I've learned a lot. So
you can be an honorary woman.
I'll be an honorary woman.
Fantastic.
Cool. All right. I'll wear that hat. So, Sally, like I was saying, you've been in this space for a really long time. You've seen, in a good way, you've seen all the different things that have gone on across Wall Street. Something I hinted on earlier on that regulation slide is this notion of best interest of client, the fiduciary rule. I know this has been near and dear to you over the years.
Right.
Can you just kind of share your thoughts on why that's so important now?
It's so important because you don't want, as you mentioned, a confused client or customer. And today, these individuals, we know, don't understand the difference between fiduciary, broker-dealer. Who are you? Are you operating in my best interest? Are you not? I'm going to have to do some research. Do I trust you? Never mind. And to my mind, we should go to the highest standard. What we do hear from investors and from clients is, I don't know what fiduciary is, but I think it sounds good. And so to my mind, we should make this easy for the customer and client. Go to whatever is the right standard across the industry so that we take, whether it's fiduciary here, some of the additional regulations around broker-dealers there, but go to a high standard and take that friction away from the customer or client, because it doesn't help us either.
So in reading your book, I'm going to show you that I did read it. You talk a lot about, the different types of investment needs, different things that a female needs compared to a man, or just different types of segments that are out there. Can you kind of share your thoughts of, the different needs that the female investor needs, maybe when compared to a man?
So let me start with the fact that I would have, if you and I had had this conversation a few years ago, I would have thought it was pretty much hogwash. And I would have said, women aren't different from men. We all need the same thing. We need to reach our goals. We need to get terrific returns. That's what we need. However, there is a gender investing gap in this country. Women invest less than men do. It costs our typical industry clients millions of dollars over the course of their lives, so it's life-changing. And what we hear, when you take a step back, what is clear is that the industry has done a better job of serving men. So the attrition rate for men from their financial advisor, if the financial advisor stays in his seat, if neither of them die, that's important too, is a single-digit percent.
Wow.
In the year after her husband's death, the attrition rate of a woman from their joint financial advisor for the industry is 70 to 80%.
Wow.
So what that tells us is there is a different need, and we as an industry have not been fully serving it.
So remember last week we were talking about this, and we got into this topic of segments, right? A lot of people view the female investor as a niche segment, a minority as a niche segment. The reality is these are huge. I mean, these are massive
women are half the
opportunities.
population, so that's a hell of a niche right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of important.
Yeah, kind of.
So let's fast forward. So, when we think about segments, we think about the investment space, the wealth space overall. Where do you see this going in the next 3 to 5 years?
Right. Well, individuals are looking for us to speak directly to them, to really address and approach their needs. So for women, and by the way, it's the needs they sometimes don't even know they have. So let me give you one example of some of the research we've done at Ellevest. If you ask a woman what she is looking for from a financial services provider, she will often tell you, I'm looking for some financial education. I really need financial education. Could you give me some financial education? And if you ask her a second time and a third time and a fourth time, she will tell you that. However, once you give her what she's asked for, she never looks at it. She puts it on the bedside table, and I think we can all agree doing laundry is more interesting than reading about our jargon, reading our terms. So it's really only about the 7th or 8th time that you push that you recognize it's not financial education. She wants you to get rid of the jargon. That gentlemen are not much more financially educated than women, but they will invest through jargon they don't understand. Women will not. Likewise, if you ask her what her risk tolerance is, she will retreat. She'll say, oh, risk, I'm gonna have to figure that out, and never come back. But if you tell her, here's the risk that you can afford to take in order to get where you want to, she will engage with you. So it's really understanding at a very granular level, not just what she thinks she needs, but what she's really telling you.
Maybe one last question on that is technology, right? We haven't talked about that, but how important do you see tech as part of this?
Oh, it's massively important. Whether you start from a traditional financial advisor relationship, or whether you start as a robo, which is what Ellevest is, this is the key. I used to say the business is just people and tech, people and tech, tech and people, et cetera. And where I think the traditional industry will go is that they will move more towards the tech robo side. They will enable their financial advisors to do what we all know financial advisors do best, which is engage with their clients. They're not Warren Buffett. We should just go ahead and admit it. Picking stocks, that's not what they do best. And if we think about our standard is acting in the best interest of our clients, having a financial advisor, number 1,267 financial advisor picking stocks is not in the best interest of our clients. Using technology to do anything and everything with numbers and anything and everything with knowing the client and letting that advisor do what they do best, engage with the clients, means that they can no longer take care of just 100 clients or 200, but 400, 500, et cetera, and scale.
Beautiful. Sally, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. Big round of applause for Sally. Awesome. So let's switch gears. So, we've talked about it. I think it's time to see a demo, right? What would a digital banking experience look like, feel like, powered by Salesforce? And to do that, I want to invite up Jeff Otto, who leads our financial services marketing team, to walk us through a demo. Jeff, over to you.
Thanks, Rohit. Well, it's great to be back in New York City. I lived here for many years, and I think everybody that lives here can agree this is the most convenient city in the world, right? Everything you need, 2 blocks away, max. Well, I don't know if you caught this, but on one of Rohit's slides earlier, there was a quote, "Convenience is the new loyalty." And today, we're going to tell a story about convenience. We're going to tell a story about digital-first banking experiences that are uninterrupted and, by nature, convenient. So this story starts with Rachel Adams. Now, Rachel is a recent New Yorker, just moved here. She's kicking off her new job, right? And with that, reorganizing her life. She's looking for a new bank account. She's doing what many of us do. She's surfing. Maybe she's looking at reviews on NerdWallet. She's looking at her phone. And all of this data, this rich contextual data, often it's lost. But not today. Not today, because Cumulus Bank is leveraging Salesforce Marketing Cloud and our new data management platform. We're going to pick up those breadcrumbs, critical information about how to engage Rachel, even though at this point we don't know who she is, right? We can add Rachel and the millions of personas like her to an audience, right, of millennials interested in an interest checking account, for example, right? And so, because we have that context, we can use marketing automation, put her on the right journey, right, and engage her on the channels that she cares about. And so, with some help from Matt and Rachel over here in the demo station, let's take a look over at Rachel's iPhone and see what this looks like. So we've got roughly, 1.2 billion people on planet Earth doing this right now. They're logged into their Facebook account, surfing on it, right? Rachel's no different. She's looking at friends' posts. She's looking at travel options. Right there, though, in context, we see that Cumulus Bank has served up a relevant offer just for her, right? So let's click into that. Now, should we bounce Rachel out to a web form? Maybe have somebody call her tomorrow and follow up? No, we're going to engage her right now, in context, on the channel that she's in, inside of Facebook Messenger. And with our partner, NeuroFlash, we're going to engage her with an intelligent chatbot that's going to use natural language to explain and answer basic questions that she has about this offer. You can see 60 basis points for this interest checking account. It's not too bad. She's interested, right? She says, hey, I want to sign up. So that buying signal, it's understanding that natural language, and we're going to say, you know what, Rachel, let's sign you up right here and now. Not wait, let's take advantage of this opportunity. Rachel punches in her email address, and she's given an onboarding package specific to this offer. That brings her right into the Cumulus web app. Now, we don't want Rachel to have to type in more information, right? So we're going to use social sign-in. Go right in with some of that information. Now, we don't get personally identifiable information from just Facebook, but we don't want Rachel typing that all in. So why don't we take a photo of her driver's license, and we're going to pull that information, her date of birth, her address, other relevant things, right off of that photo and load it into the onboarding flow. So again, let's reduce the friction. Let's take away these opportunities for Rachel to be slowed down, right? All that data loaded in. We need a couple of more items. Let's punch in her social security number. We also have a few, security questions that Rachel can fill in. And her dog is Lassie, apparently. Quick spin through the terms and conditions to make sure she's comfortable with those. Now we're down to the final step. It's critical that Rachel is who she says she is, right? And with fraud these days, we've got to be careful about that. Now, of course, we can schedule that meeting with Rachel and a personal banker at the branch, right? Justin Woods is going to help her out. But what if it's freezing cold outside? You guys remember that second week in January here in New York? It was about 15 degrees, wasn't it? She doesn't want to leave her comfy couch. Why don't we try something that's automated, that she can do from the comfort of her home? Now, we could run a credit check on her, but maybe she's a millennial. Maybe we don't have enough credit history to get from Rachel. So what are we going to do? Well, the good news is Cumulus Bank has two-way video chat powered by SOS. We can immediately connect Rachel from the comfort of her couch with a Cumulus Bank representative who will quickly be able to verify her identity. And so we're starting that session, and Matt from Cumulus is going to have a chat with Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. It looks like you're almost done setting up your Cumulus Bank checking account. I just need you to do one thing. Could you hold up your driver's license next to your face so I can verify your identity?
No problem. Here you go.
Great. Looks just like you. Congratulations, Rachel. Your identity is verified, and you can begin banking with Cumulus. Would you like me to help you set up and fund your account?
You know, I got this far. I think I've got it covered.
Great. I'll text you a link to our mobile app where you can set up and fund your account on your own. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, let's give Matt and Rachel a round of applause. That was great. So just to recap what we just saw here today, what we saw was an intelligent experience that understood a prospect, right, and the right way to engage her. We then saw a digital-first, uninterrupted banking experience that really drives convenience. And in today's competitive market, convenience can be your secret weapon to earning the loyalty of your customers. That's it. Back to you, Rohit.
Thanks, Jeff. Damn. So I love that. To me, that's like the modern day branch. You're in Facebook, it's in context, it's relevant, it's really easy to do. Now, a firm, and you're kind of getting the reveal here, but a firm who's thinking a lot about this is Citi. And very similar to Sally, we've got another great veteran who's been in this space, who's just really at the forefront of thinking about customer expectations and how do we use technology to meet them. So big round of applause. Help me invite up Yolanda Piazza from Citi FinTech. Hey, Yolanda. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
So, Yolanda, I know you go by Yo.
I do.
You do. My name's Rohit. I go by Ro. So we're going to change this around a little bit. We're going to take everyone through the Yo and Ro show here.
Amen. Sounds
So,
good.
all right?
Go, Ro.
So let's start here. So, Yo, clearly customer change in expectations is probably at the top of everyone's mind here. Clearly, I know it's something you think a lot about. Just what are you thinking there? You know, what are you thinking from a fintech side, a Citi side?
So I think we covered some of it today. It's really interesting. We talk a lot and focus about the digital affluent, but we have a wide sector of people that are experienced, that have demands, and that are not experienced. But I think one thing we can all agree on is the days of banks dictating the terms of how customers interact with their money is gone. We have to be focused on working with our customers to bring banking services to them. So I think there's some real key themes that we're focused on, and all of this is by co-creating and interacting with our customers on a regular basis. So one of those is personalization. No longer are we doing compares against giant portfolios. If you think about just today, people talk about money. 5 years ago, It was a very, very taboo subject. They want to know who you're using to move money. Who did you do that? Who does your financial assessment for you? So being able to customize solutions, to be able to compare demographics, to be able to tell people where they are in their life cycle based on their personal needs is critical, and I think that's universal. I think the other thing is around, if you think about the change in economy, you've got the gig economy, you've got those working in free spaces, you've got urbanization. It's that need to be able to basically bank at any time. I want that relationship with my money at 3 in the morning while I'm sitting in Starbucks. So it's not just about apps. It's about whether it's in social media that we just saw the demo of, whether that's spaces, no matter what device and channel, we have to create that accessibility. And then I think the third piece is around trust. everybody will raise trust. And I think that's why you haven't seen the market leapfrog. We've seen a lot of segmentation of services, but you haven't seen it leapfrog because if you think 43% of people use mobile apps. It's still a large gap, 57% of people not using, and why is that? It's really around the trust, the security. So we have to do a lot to reinforce our customers that we've got that mastered before we can take those leapfrog moves.
I love that trust. It's real important. You work at Citi. It's a big global bank. These are big changes that we're talking about here. What does that mean to a firm like Citi?
Great question. The one thing I'm proud of is Citi has a history of knowing when to pivot, and I think this was a perfect example. So I think there was a lot of, 3 years ago, there was a lot of talk around fintechs were going to take over banking. What we've seen is a big shift around fintechs partnering with large companies and shifting from B2C to B2B. So what we did is, what do we learn? What can we learn, and how do we need to pivot again? And I think it really comes down to three things. It's you have to understand, you have to be maniacally focused on the problem statement. So understanding what your customers need and what they're demanding and how you prioritize your work is critical. The second one is, how do you deliver that? Big organizations, we talk about regulations. It's really hard to move at speed in large financial services. So we had to rethink the model. What does agile mean? I think a lot of people here, when you ask them about agile, they would say it's a technology service. It's not. It's a business transformation. Our governance teams have to come together, our product teams, our delivery teams. Everybody needs to be committed to making quick decisions, which requires a change in empowerment. So that was the other piece. And then the third piece that I love is about the talent and culture. Okay. What we found is fintech organizations, they hire the best of the best in their disciplines, but it's about the passion. It's about everybody has a relationship with money. It doesn't matter who you are. So finding people with passion of purpose and deliberately not going after people from, the big bank competitors, but from people that have tried and failed in startups. What did they learn, and what can we learn from it? So that's the model that we implemented for Citi FinTech, and we've seen this transformation across the bank. It's not just been within FinTech.
I love that, because I know when I've walked around your office, it's different.
Very different.
Feels different, looks different. There's just passion
we don't
oozing
look like
out.
bankers.
yeah. No one in suits and ties like this. So you've hit into this. You've done a lot in a very short period of time with FinTech. What's next for you? Where do you see this going?
So 2016 was about creating the proof points. Prove that we can change how we run as an organization, and we can put product in market. So 3-year effort during our normal traditional processes, in market in 8 months. Now, how do we continue that? So really look at it as kind of 3 key things. One is that continuing that relationship and co-creating with our customers. I'm lucky, I don't have a prioritization problem because my customer prioritizes everything that we're doing. So it's continuing that journey is one. Second one is pursuing open banking. So we launched our API Developer Hub last year, and really looking at how do we partner with fintechs. We're past the stage of Citi has to think about everything and build everything. So creating those pipelines for new vectors of growth globally is really key. So that was why we launched the Developer Hub. And then the third one is, when we initially surveyed our customers, we actually had these big, grand ideas. We were going to be the Uber of banking. What was very, very key was our customers told us, no, you're not. We're not ready. You need to get the basics of banking first and bring banking to us to build trust, to take those leapfrogs. So what we're working on now is, how do we work in a different way with a group of customer to really start piloting some of those leapfrog things. So too early to reveal, but I'm excited to say that we're really working on what are those different things, and what is the future of banking going to look like, and building out an environment to be able to test that with our customers. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yolanda.
Thank you.
Thanks, Yo. Appreciate it. So we're just about done with the session, and for everyone that raised their hand earlier, I want to say congratulations, because believe it or not, you're actually on this path already. You actually already are reimagining the experience for your customers. You're changing the way that your relationship managers work because you're using Salesforce. And I want to keep this conversation going. So a few things I want to plant in your head before I let you go. First, All of us, we're going to be here after the session. If you've got any questions, please come up to us. Get hands-on with our technology. Check out our financial services expo hall. We've got great demos over there. We've got great industry subject matter experts that will answer any of your questions. And with that, I want to say thank you for spending the afternoon with us.